Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Ascent Tournament Series stream. Hopefully, all doing well. Welcome to the final bracket qualifier here. The best of 7 matches begin. And, well, we've already had a couple of them earlier, but week 1 still ongoing, or really round 1 still ongoing here. Again, that's right, the first round of action for the Apex Cup. Their round 1 is just beginning. And what that means is everybody here is that, again, reset to 0-0. It is 2 wins to move to the final bracket. 2 losses are out. There's only 16 teams remaining, so only half those teams are going to progress through. And what a match we have here tonight. Team Evo Exiled takes over Wyffindor, Wyfflash, and these are teams that have been... Well, we've seen Evo Exiled a ton on the stream already. In here, the record ending up being 4-2 for Wyffindor, Wyfflash, moving up from what would now be called the Phoenix Cup, which was then called the Advent Cup last season. They are runners-up right behind the now Team Exiled, who are also in this final bracket qualifier. Their run, not an easy one here. They went 2-4 in the regular season, so a struggling time for them. And again, it doesn't get much easier against Team Evo Exiled. The other 2 teams in their group of 4 is Evil Buggers, who are one of our top teams this season, going 5-1, and Beantop, who have also struggled this season with a 3-3 record. So, for Wyffindor Wyfflash, maybe some people said they got a bit of fortune during the regular season, being in Group B, which is starting to shape up to be one of our weaker groups. It's probably our weaker group this season in our Team Evo Apex Cup. But see how these teams are formed. The fortunate thing is, it all resets. Your regular season does not really matter anymore. All that really matters to them too was your initial seeding. Now it's just about being able to play well under the pressure. You've done well enough to make to this point if you're Wyffindor Wyfflash. That's about being able to find ways to kind of put the past behind you and to reach new heights. And I know for Wyfflash, it's going to be kind of tough for them because, again, last season ended up being second place in our Advent Cup, lost in Game 7 in the Grand Finals to Team XL, who are then under incorrect. So, a tough road here for Wyfflash this season. They have not acclimated well to the Apex Cup, the Team Evo Apex Cup. Evo Exiled themselves have done well. Again, averted Knave and July on that roster. They've have been virtually unchanged. Neither of these teams have really changed all that much this season. Even from last season, Wyffindor Wyfflash staying almost the exact same. These teams have only added players this season. For Evo Exiled, it was a sub in Exfil, who has not played yet at all this season. Wyfflash, it was a second sub in Murray, who has also not competed yet. They've been playing this season with Molly, Pookie, and brother Brian. See how things go for this team, but considering how the season has gone, Evo Exiled are the heavy favorites in this best of 7 matchup. And we'll look to keep it that way going into the final bracket qualifier. Reminder, of the 16 teams currently competing in the final bracket qualifier, only the top 8 will see the final bracket and will be able to compete later this month on April 27th, so a little over 3 weeks from now. We'll be seeing them compete. We'll be seeing 8 teams of this Apex Cup compete in the final bracket. Everybody wants to be there, but there's only a couple spots that are actually waiting, so you gotta play well, considering that the pressure is on, and considering that these teams know what the pressure entails. For Wyffindor Wyfflash, they got to skip this point last season, made it automatically into the final bracket due to their regular season performance. This season, again, has not gone well. They've just been able to make it through a tumultuous regular season where they've just not been able to acclimate well. Team Evo Exiled have been flying high with colors here. One of our top-rated teams at the end of the season. We go into a best of 7, though. It all resets. The runners-up from last season's Advent Cup and Wyffindor Wyfflash take to the orange. Team Evo Exiled are on the blue. And it's a best of 7 series here in the final bracket qualifier. This is round 1. Both teams at 0-0 records at this point. The winner will get to play against Evil Buggers for a chance to make to the final bracket. The loser will face elimination against Beantop. So, pressure is on. These teams know what's up. Your regular season can be put behind you now. All it comes down to is making that final bracket, playing in the second stage of the competition. But if you have to put your bets on somebody, Evo Exiled are the heavy favorites tonight. A 4-0 record in the regular season is no joke in this division, and considering again that Wyfflash went 2-4 in a division that many consider the weakest of the 3, not like there's a lot that's in their favor right now. There's not a lot of hopes, but one thing that the Wyffindor Wyfflash does have in their favor, and that this team has been under the pressure before, has played under the pressure before. They've made it to the final bracket last season, and you know this team, they've been around for a while, can stick it through thick and thin, and can find ways to succeed. Brian will try to get things started here. Molly unable to get the shot as Brian will keep things going. Are playing with Michael here tonight instead of Pookie, so who many consider one of their stronger players on this roster. He was definitely MVP caliber last season in the final bracket. This whole team really was at different points. The MVPs in that final bracket again just could not get the win in Game 7. Oh, his brother Brian finds the flip reset. And Wyffindor Wyfflash off to a good start. And you could tell July wasn't even ready for that one. He challenged early thinking that there was no chance he could get a flip reset on that play. Well, he's been proven wrong here as the first goal goes in favor of Wyffindor Wyfflash. And things have started off well for this Wyffindor side as Brother Brian's trying to keep things going. It'll be Knave to collide though for Wyffindor Wyfflash here, and Evo Exile will get this ball away. There's one thing that the Evo Exile team is very good at. It is finding that cohesion. We haven't really seen it yet, but we won't need to for Averted's first goal. As he'll take matters into his own hands, gets by Michael, and with a huge break in rotation between Michael and the rest of his teammates, that gives Averted more than enough time to line up his shot and go. And this game is now all tied up. One apiece. Still a long way to go in this series, but knowing these teams and the way they started, it is a team of players who've already been in this point before, who know what it's like, versus a team that has been very tough to beat this season. And the latter of those two teams right now, leading at this point, as July, he's just doing July things. We've seen him do this before. July is no stranger to finding great ways to get goals. You should expect to see more of this from him. He is a 3v3 main, but my goodness, he's got the mechanics of a 1v1 player. Just does so well in open space, and that's really tough to do in 3v3. Again, I mentioned he's got the mechanics of a 1v1 player, but the difference between him and a 1v1 player playing 3 is that 1v1 players are used to having a lot of room, are able to take their time, play patiently. In 3s, you don't get that time. You have to play fast, you have to think fast, and you have to be ready for the fact that players are going to challenge you. Well, he does very well under that kind of pressure. He does very well in that position. You're going to see a lot of moments in this series where he's going to have very little time to make a move, and yet he will still find a way to do it. Wyfflash will race back. They may have made a mistake back here. They will. Knave makes it 3-1. Michael pushed him a bit too high, and he just missed it. Panicked on the spot. And Wyfflash, who again this season have had to play with Michael a lot more than they've wanted to. Not a great start here when your sub, who is the player that needs to show up the most, is struggling in finding that consistency. And you can tell on those rotations he's pushing up very, very high. The reasons why he was panicking so much in that last goal was because he overcommitted and got caught in an overcommit. So it is right now for Wyffindor Wyfflash an issue on rotations. It's been an issue on those rotations all season. They have again not acclimated well to the much tougher competition this season around. I've seen it so many times, you know, in ATS here, where teams that do really well the past season rarely may ever make that many changes into their roster. And oftentimes when you move up a division, it gets very, very tough to keep up with them. And Wyffindor Wyfflash not doing well, and I know for a fact, some insider info here, they have not exactly had a lot of time to practice this season either, making things worse, because, again, Team Exiled, another team that's virtually unchanged this season, only adding in a sub from, again, compared to the roster from last season, and they themselves have had a good season in a pretty tough group. I think I have a 4-2 record, so in a decently good season. Probably better than what Wyffindor Wyfflash have had, but it's also a team that has been practicing a lot more, has been playing a lot more. That practice does make differences here, and you can tell it's making a difference here as Evo Exiled off of a slow start in Game 1 have not put on the accelerators and now are leading 5-1 with a minute to go. Wyffindor Wyfflash facing the pressure. They'll need to be careful because if they let that pressure get the better of them, and I do not want to know what's going to happen here, but it is only going to get worse as averted. Looking for number 6. We'll get it off the back wall, keep it in front. It'll be cleared away by Michael. Knave. And cleared all the way back as I'll be the one to collect. Brother Brian will be first too. Molly looking for a second goal. That's hit off the bar. Michael. Knave will not get it up on it. And Wyffindor Wyfflash will take a second. In theory, they're not out of this game just yet. They're going to need 3 goals in the span of 55 seconds. A task that is not likely, considering how Wyffindor Wyfflash have played this game so far, but you can't say it's impossible. It's not impossible just yet. As Molly, this one left in the midfield here as double commit for Team Evo Exiled. Leave them a bit thin on defense. Michael will clear this one away, but it's averted. We'll find Knave. Evo Exiled once again down the field. Wyffindor Wyfflash trying to rely on heavy clears to get them down the field, but they just can't get there. Michael's a bit too slow. Brother Brian will get the block, but Wyffindor Wyfflash are low on boost, and they haven't even gotten to offense just yet. Michael, blocked by Knave. As Brother Brian will jump in for Wyffindor Wyfflash. Keeping that ball away. They'll go for another. That is a 3rd goal this game. Evo Exiled maybe starting to show their signs of cracking at the end of game 1, but for Wyffindor Wyfflash, it's too little too late at this point. Work too slowly, and they've given up too many goals to Evo Exiled to make the comeback. This will end game 1 here. Evo Exiled take the win initially. It is a best of 7 matchup, so we've got a long way to go here, and if Wyffindor Wyfflash just play a little bit better on defense, he might see them take control. Now, we have not seen any indications of that, though. Game 1, definitely an Evo Exiled win. Their offense played a lot better. And that ends game 1. Again, Evo Exiled are favorites in this series. Off to a good start. I'm sure they'll look to improve on that as Wyfflash already making the change. They are adding in Pookie. So, started off with Michael, who is listed as their sub. Now playing with Pookie. The Wyfflash team is not afraid to use either of those 2 players this season. And considering again that they've been struggling a lot, it doesn't come too much as a surprise to see Wyfflash trying to change things around. But they're going back to Pookie, who again was part of this roster and competed along with Brother Brian and Molly last season in the final bracket. We'll just have to see if now he can find a way to allow this team more success. On top of that, both these teams do have tactical timeouts, so we haven't seen any used yet. I don't expect we're going to see any used for a little bit, but it's a possibility. If a team needs to use one, they could use one. But for now, we'll just see how these teams compete. Evo Exiled have, again, taken game 1. Their offense has looked good. Now in game 2, it's about being able to improve on that. For Wyffindor Wyfflash, it's about being able to have that defense shut down Evo Exiled. Their defense was their weak point in game 1. That's very tough to say because this Evo Exiled team has a good offense to begin with. It's all about being able to shut them down, as that's a great idea. It will be there, though, as now another chance for Piki. Just going to go straight for net. It will be blocked by Knave. Here goes Molly. July will jump in to rescue. Wyfflash putting on the ball here as Knave. That's a nice pass back to averted. And it's a 2v1 the other way. Molly's got to be careful. Back pass. Knave will take it. Oh, the selfless action there from averted will give Evo Exiled goal 1. And I love this decision, too. Molly was fully expecting the shot, but instead came the pass, and he just didn't have any chance to block him. Evo Exiled will score first on Forbidden Temple. And again, you gotta appreciate the selfless action there from averted. He's always been a player known for being team-oriented. You really see it shown there in an ultimate display. And Evo Exiled rewarded. Wyffindor Wyfflash, yet another game where they've dropped early, but this time it really hurts even more. They had offense early on in this game. They were colliding in the nets. Evo Exiled may have blocked their chances. It really felt like, with the momentum they had, they were bound to score a goal. Now those hopes are all gone. Evo Exiled have taken the initial lead. Molly. July. Ryan won't have this. Pookie has got to go back here as this one bumped out of the way as Pookie averted with a goal here. He was able to get the assist on the first one. This time he'll be given credit. But the true credit's got to go to July. Pookie's got that save. If July doesn't run into him there. Only making things better for Team Evo Exiled. Pookie bumped out of the way. July will jump in. Save. Averted! Oh, that's off the crossbar. Evo Exiled nearly taking a third. They may still have the chance here. This backfield's open. Bashing back goes Wyffindor Wyfflash. July now in open room. Flip reset. Gets over one. They'll have to contend with Molly on defense, though, as an infield play. Ryan will leave this one as Molly will take it away. Compared to last game, a better performance so far from Wyffindor Wyfflash, although that's not a very high bar to beat. Again, considering last game they gave up 5 goals. Evo Exiled are mostly concerned right now with keeping the offense as it is, as Nave looking for averted. Brian is off the back wall, but there's R jumping in as July. Nave, that's off the side of the post. And Pookie will jump in to help, but this one cleared all the way back as averted. Taken out. Nave will clear this one away as the infield pass will not collect. And if Wyffindor Wyfflash have any way to score this series, it has been from infield passes. Unfortunately, passing is something that Evo Exiled are very much well known for. It's very tough to play that playstyle against a team who's already played that way this season. And it's only being made tougher as goals continue to fly in. Evo Exiled proving who's boss of this series. But this game, doing the way it has so far. Pressure just continuing to mount as Molly. In to the back wall. Couldn't get the second touch, and Nave, oh, that's a deft touch. Right to get around one to player. Now he'll find the net. This is a goal here. Nave has scored, and he's got his hat trick. A deft touch on defense just to flick that one by Molly. And then July, once again playing for the bumps, removes Pookie out of the way. I think that's the second time he's done that this game. That's resulted in a goal for Team Evo Exiled. What was a better start to this game than it was in Game 1 for Wyffindor Wyfflash. You're quickly seeing that offense from Game 1, the only hope that Wyfflash had was that offense late, has not repeated here in Game 2. And in fact, it feels like they have even less offense to speak about here on Game 2. Evo Exiled are adapting to Wyffindor Wyfflash. With the ball moving the way it is, Wyfflash need goals. They'll get one there. As Brother Brian on the end of the play does find one off of the pass and the fake from Molly. Simply put, there's less than 90 seconds left. They need 3 goals. Once again, facing a time crunch late in this game. This time, though, the goals to score is a little bit less, although it is no easier than last game's challenge. Nave to stop Molly. Pookie will keep this one as he was subbed into this game to hopefully make an adjustment to Wyffindor Wyfflash's playstyle. They're going to need more than just an adjustment here to beat Evo Exiled the way that they're playing. As Nave will keep it to the sidewall. Ryan will prevent July from going, and Averted's going to get beat back here by Molly. Again, Wyffindor Wyfflash just don't have a follow-up play. Running out of time. Averted. Put away. Pookie bumped out as July. Chase this though, and down! It's going to go in! Molly had the last touch. And Evo Exiled will score. Technically an own goal, but it was forced here. Molly had no other options. If he doesn't put it in his own net, then it's still going to go in. That ball was going to net no matter whatever happened. Evo Exiled securing Game 2 at this point. Through 2 games, they have now scored 10 goals against Wyffindor Wyfflash. For Wyfflash, they have now only scored 4. And while 4 goals over 2 games is not bad, again, their defense has struggled to keep Evo Exile. And a lot of it is the fact that Wyffindor Wyfflash play a pass-heavy style, but Evo Exile just do it better. On top of that is Wyffindor Wyfflash's very slow rotations to defense, their awkward positioning that they overcommit for, and Evo Exile just cutting them to shreds right now. Game 2 will end 6-1 unless somehow we get another goal in these final 2 seconds. And right now we are seeing quite clearly that Evo Exile do not care who's playing. They just have the advantage right now over Wyffindor Wyfflash. They're playing the style better. They're not overcommitting. Their passes are a lot cleaner. Their touches are a lot better. They're not clearing as much. You can tell there is definitely a team here that's had a better season than the other. And while again, both these teams are technically even at this point. One team's 4-2 through the regular season. The other one's 2-4. The 4-2 team is doing a lot better. Wyfflash already readying up. They're going right into game 3 here. As for Team Evo Exiled. Them, it's about being able to continue what they're doing. I mean, they've, again, scored so many goals each game. If they just continue this kind of offense, I mean, there's no way Wyfflash are even going to come close to beating them. All comes from being able to just... The way that they're playing here is July. Oh, that's beautiful! Oh my goodness, what a pass! Oh, July, he's done it again! Off the ceiling, straight down to averted. And that's what makes July such a fun player to watch in threes. It's why he's a 3v3 player first. It's because of passing like that that makes him so talented. Because he may have the mechanics to score, but it's the passing that really makes him such a well-rounded player. And even though this Evo Exile team is a full star-studded roster, July's leading them in so many different ways. Evo Exile not finding it hard at all as July. They're back by Molly. Knave. This up the sidewall, his brother Brian. Averted. Knave. The sidewall. Averted. Up again. As a potential back pass will not connect. Wyffindor Wyfflash will recover, but they've got to start from square one all over again in terms of making offense. Evo Exile just pulling them in closer and closer, keeping them away. It's getting very tough here for Wyffindor Wyfflash to keep up with the pace of play. And you can tell, just trying to find something to succeed. Getting chances. They're not getting many of them. They're not stringing them together. Their offense is struggling. And Evo Exile gonna play to the course of time as averted. Stopped by Brian. His Knave. Awkward. Oh, it's off the bar. July will keep it away. Knave once more. Oh, I've got kicked out of my own game here. I hope they've not been kicked out. Gotta love this game. 1 second. They have not been kicked out. Thank goodness. Apologies there. We still haven't had any more goals yet, though, which is a good sign. As real quick, I'm gonna switch back in game. Hopefully this won't have any issues with my overlay. It shouldn't. There we go. We're back in. Apologies to everybody out there. That happens sometimes. This game, I don't know why it likes to kick me out sometimes, but it does that. I think it's something to do with the new updates. I don't know. It happens. Fortunate thing is that at least the game itself didn't end. But I mean, going halfway through a game and having it end abruptly, we would have been forced to reset the whole game. So thankfully, that hasn't happened here as Pookie leaves this one away. Evo Exile still only leading by 1 goal. It's been the slowest they've had racking up goals of any game so far this series. Again, that's not saying much considering that they've had 5 goals in the first game and then 6 in the second. But it does worry me because things are going to get close here as Brother Brian does find his way through. A rare rotational error from Evo Exiled is averted. Left this team in disarray, pushed up really high for that touch. And left July and Knave racing back to defense, but not in time. 1 goal for each team. Wyffindor and Wyfflash have a very good chance of actually winning Game 3. To do that, they're going to need to find yet another goal and more consistency on offense. As Evo Exiled shown so far that even in close games they can play well. July off the corner. Fine will keep things away as 2 go for Wyfflash. Pookie's going to call this one though as averted. He'll get the block off the back wall and Knave will clear it out. Demoed away by Brother Brian. Oh, a whiff from Molly. That's going to make things a little bit more awkward here as Brian stopped by July. That's gone to the back wall. July has it. Oh, what a save for Pookie. Jumping off the back wall. He gets just enough on it. And Evo Exile will look again. Knave, he's hit the post. It goes in anyways. An unfortunate overcommit as Molly just caught in the middle of the whole play, but that's not a good thing on defense. And it's Evo Exile who take the lead again. 72 seconds remain. For Evo Exile take quadruple match point. As July flip reset. Knave off the crossbar. As averted. July. Knave stopped by Molly. Ryan will continue the challenges as averted. Just going to play back here as Pookie. Oh, that's going to find the net. Ryan will be the one to take it. And Wyffindor, Wyfflash staying in this one. Plays this game so far. Winner will be decided soon enough, I feel, as Molly. I will be the player to it for Team Evo Exiled. Best performing Team Evo team in this division as well. An organization who historically not done well in this division. Didn't do well last season. Oh, trying to find new heights here as Knave. One-on-one. That's on the front post. Brian's going to keep it away. Averted will not collect this one. We are going to overtime for the first time tonight. Evo Exiled 1 goal away from a quadruple match point. Wyffindor Wyfflash 1 goal away from hope that they can stay in this series. Considering the terrible state of games 1 and 2 for Wyffindor Wyfflash, this is already sort of a win for them. Although obviously, if they aren't able to get this last goal, it won't really matter. As July gets a touch there, but Molly will force him out of the way. Averted. When pinched all the way back as Knave won't get much on this one. July faked by Brother Brian. Pookie will go for the shot. What a huge stab by Knave there. And July will keep this, although not for long. He's looking for Averted. Pookie will keep it away. Evo Exiled pushing up on treacherous grounds, but able to win these challenges nonetheless. Although not very many of them as July. Oh, he doesn't get the touch there. Pookie could shoot this one. We'll leave it for Molly instead. Runners up from last season's Advent Cup. Facing far more difficulties now in the Team Evo Apex Cup of this season. As averted. Up by Pookie. Up goes Knave. It is blocked anyway. It is averted. Across the goal line. Will be kept out as pinched in front. Knave. 2 touches to keep pressure as Pookie won't have this one. Averted will keep it out. As July. Averted! Oh, that nearly went in. I was surprised by how slowly Wyffindor Wyfflash challenged that one. Waited until the last moment to get to that one, nearly cost them dearly, as averted goes again! This one will go in! And it is now confirmed Evo Exiled are one win away from winning the series. Averted with the last goal. Wyffindor Wyfflash, all the hard work this game, it's been their best game so far. It all is for naught. And going in game 4, Wyffindor Wyfflash now, or Evo Exiled now have quadruple match point Wyfflash. Now need to complete a reverse sweep. You have tactical timeouts. We'll see if they use one already. The Wyfflash seems like they're likely not to use it. Yeah, they haven't called it at all, so tactical timeouts will not be used here by Wyffindor Wyfflash, choosing not to go with one. Now we move to Game 4. Team Evo Exiled could win the series here, play against Evil Buggers for a spot in the top 8. Wyffindor Wyfflash. Well, elimination potential in the next series if they don't win 4 games straight. They're facing elimination against Beantop. It's either them or Beantop that's getting them removed. Two teams that have both had very successful seasons. In fact, Beantop are actually ATS champions from not last season, but the season before, in Season 1. Or was it Season 2? They won... Might have been Season 1, when we had our first iteration of the Apex Cup. For now, the play is in favor of Evo Exiled as they're looking to take the first goal. It is wide open for Nave, and he'll take it! Inside the first minute, and Team Evo Exiled beat past Wyffindor Wyfflash already. Nave with the first goal, and again, it feels like Wyfflash like a fish out of water. They just are not able to keep up with the pressure. Yeah, they have something to prove this season, and that was that they would win eventually. But clearly, though, the Team Evo Apex Cup, much tougher than the Advent Cup of last season, where they got second place. Again, they are facing the pressure of being in a much tougher division against much tougher competition. As Brian now trying to find the bump on the end of that play, will not be able to get through averted though. Now Pookie, past 1, past 2, but Nave is able to keep things out, and well, Molly will jump on this one. Wyfflash are going to be sorely disappointed. Molly takes it away, averted. Pookie is waiting back as Nave will run into him there. July, he's hit the front post. Oh, and he's also taking it away from his own teammates. Team Evo Exiled will win the next challenge though, so all is forgiven. As they're still looking for that second goal this game. Ryan, Molly. Well, a long shot early. If he just had taken his time, that could have been a goal. It still will be. Pookie with the last touches. That one stayed in front. He'll take it here. I mean, I was initially going to talk about why that first touch from Molly was so poorly timed. I think you'll be very happy to see that it does result in a goal nonetheless. As July go across the goal here, and Evo Exiled again. Another close game. Now the first 2 games went. Maybe they were preparing for something for the series to be a lot closer. Now they're getting it, and we saw it in Game 3 going to overtime. We can definitely see it again in Game 4. The Exiled just not been as successful on offense. As their defense has continued to play well. Their offense, not nearly as successful, and to be fair, maybe that's just a warm-up stage for Wyffindor Wyfflash. As July will keep things away. Now is trying to get the flick over Pookie as Nave. Multiple touches. Around the back corner. Bumps out brother Brian. Averted. Through Molly and Brian. July past 1. Now off the corner. Nave. Unable to make much happen here as averted. Up next. Still not getting much to work, and now they have overcommit. Nave's the last one back. Bumps out of the way. Molly can't score though. Pookie was blocking him. Couldn't jump early. At the time like that was opening up. Ball was already on the back wall. He just could not score. That's a big missed opportunity for Wyffindor Wyfflash, and one you may not see them get again. A team that's rarely had the lead in this series. Team Evo Exiled nearly gave him the chance there. As an infield play, averted. Fly will look to catch this one as he does get around Molly. Averted trying to run into brother Brian. Nave. Oh, he just takes him clean out now. Brian still has this though as a flick over one. Up goes Molly, but not in time to beat Averted. While Evo Exiled are still waiting back as Brian Pookie! Oh, what a save! It's in front! Kept out of the way. Evo Exiled shaking in their boots right now. You can tell they really don't like where they're playing. But Nave will keep it away. Evo Exiled holding on tight to defense. This game has really pushed them to their limits at times. What you should expect at this point in your season. It's only the best of the best that are playing at this point. Teams that really do deserve it. Now is the time to compete as Pookie. Off the sidewall. We'll pinch this one towards goal. Averted. Ryan. Averted. Can't get this. July will keep things away as Pookie. Bumped out. Nave. Averted. 10 seconds and counting as Molly. This one pinched. Averted's waiting! It is wide open! And does that win the series for Evo Exiled? Molly beating the challenge and Averted in the right place at the right time. Does that do it? Does that give Team Evo Exiled the win? Time will run out. Wyffindor Wyfflash need to keep this ball airborne, but that will not happen. Evo Exiled sweep Wyffindor Wyfflash. And their run through the final bracket qualifier starts on a very high note. 4 games straight, giving the runners-up from last season's Advent Cup no chance to respond. Four games straight. Clear victory for Team Evo Exiled. Again, that means they'll be taking on the Evil Buggers next week to qualify for the final bracket. As Wyffindor Wyfflash, their run's not over. It's a double elimination bracket, but they gotta play Beansop. And they gotta worry about elimination now. They have they have to win 2 matches in a row, or else their season is over before they even get a chance in the final bracket. A huge victory for this team. Oh, very impressive performance overall. Exactly what this team was looking for. As we'll bring Averted in to talk with us for a little bit. 4-0 sweep. Your final bracket qualifier begins well. This season is one where you guys have done well. As you sweep Wyffindor Wyfflash, welcome in Averted. How are you feeling? You guys got a win. You started off your final bracket qualifier as expected. A good performance tonight, and I'm sure for you guys at least it was as expected. But still, you can get rid of those kind of postseason jitters.
It feels pretty good. I did not expect to win like that previously. This team, obviously, they've been together for a very long time. They've been quite good, in the past in different leagues and other things like that. So coming into it, we obviously prepared for a longer series, and I don't know. I noticed how their record hasn't really been the greatest, and maybe they haven't played the game as much or what, but they really lost that aura they had, and I guess I don't know. It's a pretty good win though. I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, you mentioned part of the challenge of moving up a division is being able to acclimate to new teams, and you guys have been acclimating quite well. Your regular season shows up, but now that you've gone into the final bracket qualifier, basically all records have been reset. It doesn't matter what your regular season is anymore. You got to win 2 matches or lose 2 matches. Talk to me what it's like to have your whole season now kind of thrown out of the way, now for a new stage of competition against much tougher teams, and knowing that the pressure is higher, knowing that even if you have a perfect, even if with how good your regular season is, you are not guaranteed to have a very, very long run.
Yeah, I'm just excited to play the other groups, especially people like Bean Top. I really like playing them, and this evil boogers team or buggers or whatever. I'm pretty excited to play them, and the whole series score or record or whatever doesn't really matter in this because you're playing people from different groups and things like that. So it kind of ruins the whole point. But I'm excited.
As well. You are going to be playing against Evil Buggers up next as well next week for a chance to qualify. You now have 2 chances, and you mentioned it. Evil Buggers are a very good team, 5-1, they're the top team in this group. Um, I mean, what's your thoughts about Evil Buggers? They're a solid team. They know what they're doing. This is a team that many have considered one of the best this season. What do you say about playing against them? Because you said it, you're excited to play against them, but they have also been playing really well. This is a team that has really good chemistry, has really solid players, and they aren't very fast, but they make up for that with being impossible to take the ball from. What's your thoughts about playing against them? I know you said you're excited. Do you have any other feelings in your mind as you go and play Evil Buggers next week?
I haven't actually watched any of their games, so I'm glad you said a little bit about their play style. I'm gonna have to watch some back because I know I've played with Donley before. I ran into him in ranked and stuff like that, and he's pretty good. I don't know his two teammates, so I don't know what they play like or anything like that. It'll be a first time playing them for me, so why I'm excited, and hopefully that's a long series. Looking forward to it, and I'm sure my Maven July is as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned it as well. An exciting team to play against here, but I mean, that final bracket I know is kind of the goal you're looking for. I know that you guys always, as a full roster, are looking for that final bracket. You're only a few wins away from getting there. You're only one win away from now from making that final bracket. As the season gets on, I think you're noticing we're giving you guys progressively less lives to play with, less chances
Yeah.
to make it. It's getting more and more intense. The pressure's getting higher and higher. But your goal obviously is to win. Do you have any other
Mhm.
goals that you have kind of now that you're in the postseason? Now that you kind of passed that first part of the season, now that you kind of play against the top teams?
There another goal would be to beat the teams that beat me in my own group. You know, Snappers and I believe it was Mizuki. I think we lost to. I want to beat them as well. I hope they make it to top 8 and everything like that, and hope we run into them and get back and have some fun. But either way, oh sorry.
I can tell you, Mizuki's already won their match, so
So,
they now are in the qualification stage. I haven't heard from Wyfflash Snappers though. I don't know. Um, hey, Zeddy, you want to play? You want to beat the teams that you've already played against? Actually, Wyfflash Snappers have just uploaded their results, and they won. So you know what? They just won.
good stuff.
So I think they played today. They won their match against Miku Momentum. So there's a decent chance that you
Aw.
might be playing. You might have some of those teams meeting you in the final brackets. But again, you've looked good. You guys have played well. You're now again closer to making it to that final brackets. One win away to take on the Evil Buggers next week. Before you go, do you have any shoutouts, any final words that you want to say on stream?
Um, I don't know if he showed up in the stream or not, but I want to shout out Inverted. He my homeboy, he copied me a little bit, but shout out to him, of course. Shout out to my boy Nave, been there with me through thick and thin, almost going on a year, almost a few months, and that's really it. I'm excited to get top 8. So,
Yeah, you guys looked good as well. Congratulations on your win over the 4 sweep over Wyffindor Wyfflash. You take on Evil Buggers next week for a chance to make top 8. Thank you so much for joining. Congrats on your win. Have an amazing rest of the night, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
sir, we'll do. You too.
How's the Verdi joining us in Team Evil Exiled for a sweep win to end the night. Thank you all so much for joining the stream. We're gonna get a raid out to somebody who's live. Who's live right now? Okay, I'm gonna go raid someone who is live right now. Oh, in a moment we'll see if somebody It's always me. I'm always failing to raid on time. There we go. Let's go right here. Thank you all so much for being so supportive and for joining us. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Split FC Ascension Cup Championships. The final bracket begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern. We're going to be going through a lot of action and crowning our first of many champions this season. For now, have a great rest of your night. Join us tomorrow for a championship. See you then.